Hey, Mama, welcome back to the Thrive Mama podcast. I'm Martina, certified nutrition consultant and holistic health coach, and a mama of two, and I'm so glad you're here. We're here to help busy moms unlock their energy, balance their hormones, and break out of burnout, all so that you can move past surviving to actually thrive in motherhood. Let's do this. All right, y'all, the holidays are upon us. It's mid-December as I record this, and everyone that I talk to is like, what happened to December? Like, how do we have a week left to shop and wrap gifts and plan and squeeze in all the fun family holiday traditions, like all the things? And the burnout at this point in the year is so real. Like a lot of moms, I would venture to guess, haven't actually taken a real rest since like before back to school season. It has been nonstop for a lot of us since back to school season into all of the holidays. This fall and winter time can be really intense. And it's really interesting because our natural inclination and the seasonal energy around us is actually asking us to slow down. This fall and winter season is really an opportunity to retreat, to rest, to reflect, do some deep reflection. And we are designed biologically and through the energy of the seasons to do less in this time of year, to take things a lot more slowly and find a lot more stillness. And what's really interesting about that is that our external world actually reflects the opposite. For a lot of people, November and December are really intense times of high energy output, a lot of socializing, a lot of activities, and some beautiful, joyful times to be had for sure. But it's just interesting to note where those traditions go against our natural instinct. And you may be feeling that superhuman instinct to rest more, to be a little bit more withdrawn and less out there in the world and less social. You might be craving more quiet nights at home or days with no plans or just a slower pace to your days at this time of year. And if you're in that space of craving more rest, feeling burned out, but also trying to honor the traditions and the magic of this season for you and for your family, I really see you. It's a really tough balance. And that's what this episode today is all about. We're going to be diving into how do we nourish our body in a way that we can find some internal reserves of energy to be present in this season, to have the life force that we need to go through all of the traditions and memories that are really important to us in a way that feels good, right? So we can be present and access the joy that's there. And we're not just moving through this as like a burned out shell of a person. We're going to do this today by zooming in on 5 key foods that you can eat more of in the next few weeks that are going to support your energy overall. And before I get into the foods, the last thing I'll say about this is the number one step to getting more energy at this time of year really is to honor your cycles of energy, which means if you are feeling that draw towards being more withdrawn and still and restful, I want to just encourage you to honor that as much as you can that feels good. And it's kind of radical to build in time to rest and do nothing. But I really want you to consider what kind of energy you can reclaim for yourself by just honoring the season that we're in collectively and individually. And if that means that you're canceling plans or really prioritizing just the few things that are most important to you and your family so that you have more space to rest and recharge and be in the authentic energy that's around us, that's amazing. And if you're in a place where you really want to be doing all these things, we just need to have the energy to do them, then this episode's also for you because we are talking through how do we get that energy from a nutrition perspective. So, of course, energy is really complex, and there's so much more to this conversation than just eat these 5 foods and your energy is fixed forever, right? As we've already talked about on this podcast, there's lots of complex layers with our hormones, with our nervous system. So if we're eating these 5 foods, but we are still in fight or flight, we're not sleeping, we're feeling stressed out all the time, our digestion's way out of whack, whatever it is, then we're still going to feel that imbalance in our day-to-day life. These 5 foods are just a really nice concrete starting place for the next few weeks to see if we can just find a little bit more life force energy in our bodies to move through this season. So let's get into it. Food number one is sweet potatoes. And I would really encourage you to try to get in these sweet potatoes specifically at breakfast. So here's why this works. Sweet potatoes are a complex carbohydrate. And you may have heard me talk before about refined carbohydrates and how that messes with our energy. But complex carbohydrates, they're called complex pretty much because they contain fiber. So sweet potatoes are a carbohydrate food, but they have fiber. And our body loves to run on carbohydrates. We just want them to be steady. We don't want the simple carbs that make us spike and crash. We want the steady energy that comes from fiber rich carbs, which sweet potatoes definitely are. And they will pair great with your high protein smoothie or your eggs or your breakfast sausage or whatever else you're eating. They'll just be a beautiful supportive side for your breakfast, get you in some veggies first thing in the morning, and really boost your energy. So, food number one, sweet potatoes, specifically at breakfast. Food number two are leafy green vegetables. And when I say leafy greens, what I mean are that whole group of veggies that we eat the green leaves of. So things like spinach, kale, arugula, bok choy, collard greens, those sorts of vegetables that are bitter leafy greens. These are incredibly helpful for our energy for a few reasons, but the main one is that they're so rich in minerals. And minerals are critical for our cells to make more energy. That cellular energy process needs minerals. These leafy greens are also really high in iron, which helps our iron stores in our body, which are also included in transferring energy around the body. So we need iron, we need those minerals, and dark leafy greens are one of the most concentrated food sources of minerals that you can get. So, my goal for you would be to eat leafy greens at least once a day. If you can do twice, that's even better. And this can happen in a lot of different ways. You can eat these as salads, of course, leafy green salads. You can saute these down. I find salt, pepper, lemon juice is just a really great template for pretty much any vegetable, but especially leafy greens. These would go great with your sweet potatoes at breakfast. So have eggs, leafy greens, sweet potatoes. You've got a beautifully energizing meal. You can also toss leafy greens into your smoothies, into your soups. Just try to add them into everything, but trying to get them in at least once every day. If you can swing twice, that'll support your energy even more. The next two are technically not a food, so don't come for me, but they are drinks and they are important, so we're throwing them in. This one is optional, but potentially helpful, and that is matcha. Matcha, if you're not familiar, matcha is a green tea drink that's made from the powdered leaves of the tea plant. So most teas, you just infuse the tea leaf in the water and then you take the tea leaf out. But matcha is actually powdered really fine and you whisk the powder into the drink itself. So you drink the actual powder. And matcha is caffeinated. It's about half as much caffeine as a cup of coffee. But for many reasons that I'm not going to go super deep into today, matcha caffeine is actually a lot more steady of a caffeine source than something like coffee or energy drinks. The body metabolizes this caffeine differently, and I would argue metabolizes it better because it's a lot more stable, it's more gentle, and actually contains compounds that help us focus and calms the nervous system. Let me say that again. Matcha's caffeine has compounds in it that helps us calm the nervous system. So whereas coffee might leave you feeling a little jittery, wired, anxious, that's super common for folks who drink coffee, matcha is designed to make us calm but energized, which is kind of the best of both worlds. So, if you are looking for more energy boosts over the next few weeks, highly recommend using matcha as a caffeine boost instead of something like coffee or energy drinks. You will get much more steady energy without the crash later on, and you get actual health benefits from the matcha itself, like a calmer nervous system and more brain focus overall, better memory, all sorts of awesome things. It's also a great immune booster, so less chance of getting sick at these holiday parties and family hangouts and things. So, number three, try to add in some matcha every day if you can. You can find matcha at lots of coffee shops. You can make your own matcha at home, but really trying to find a way to swap out something like coffee or energy drinks for matcha is going to help. Now, if you're already not drinking caffeine and you don't feel the need for extra stimulation through caffeine, just skip this one. It's not like you need the caffeine. But for folks who are drinking coffee regularly, this is going to be a really supportive swap for you to make over the next few weeks into the holidays. Hey there, Mama. Quick question. Are you feeling drained, overwhelmed, or just ready for more actionable strategies for nourishing yourself in motherhood? Well, I've got a special gift for you. I am opening the waitlist for my Thrive Mama group coaching program. And when you join the priority waitlist, I am gifting you 5 free lessons straight from inside the program itself, delivered right to your inbox. So these 5 lessons are packed with simple, actionable strategies to help you transform the way that you think about energy and stress and focus on the highest impact areas to start unlocking more energy, balancing your blood sugar, balancing your hormones, and healing your nervous system. And there are free lessons in here on exactly how energy and stress are connected, how food plays a role into all of this, how to know if you're actually eating enough food, which, hint, hint, you're probably not, and how to snack in a way that actually supports your energy instead of draining you more. And the best part is you will also get early access to Thrive Mama when the doors open, and there'll be a special waitlist discount for you. Plus, you get a sneak peek into the transformation and the resources that would be waiting for you inside of Thrive Mama. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link below the show notes, join the priority waitlist, and start your thriving era today. Number 4 is also a drink. And this is the mineral mocktails, or some kind of electrolyte drink that's going to really help your energy throughout your day. And these mineral mocktails are what we call like sort of homemade mixtures of ingredients that are very high in minerals. And just like we talked about with those leafy greens, these minerals help us on a cellular level boost our energy production overall. They also really help our hormones, which in turn helps our nervous system. So the mineral mocktails are a really good, at least daily habit to boost your mineral stores, boost your energy, and balance your hormones. And a lot of us, without even realizing it, are actually deficient in minerals. And this happens for lots of reasons, like stress, for one. Stress depletes our minerals. Taking hormonal birth control also depletes our minerals. The soil quality as a whole in our agricultural practices has been declining for generations. So we actually just get less minerals through our food than we used to. So, for lots of reasons, we need more minerals in our body. And having this concentrated daily drink is a really nice way to support that and boost our energy. I love having these drinks in the middle of the day. So, maybe around lunch or early afternoon. But anytime you remember or feel the craving to have them is a great time to add them in. I do have a free mineral guide that includes recipes for some of my favorite mineral mocktail combinations. You can also find tons of options on the internet. You can buy pre-made supplements as well. There's lots of options for you. But incorporating some kind of daily electrolyte drink, mineral drink is going to be really, really helpful. And the last thing I'll say about this is if you are looking at supplemental type options, just remember that not all electrolyte, boosters are created equally. So I'm really not talking about drinks here like Gatorade or Body Armor. We're really looking for more concentrated electrolytes than that. And there's lots of options now that use a lot less added sugar, added preservatives than some of those pre-made drinks do. So I have a couple of brands of supplements that I have used in the past and that I use with clients that I'll throw in the show notes if you want somewhere to start with supplements. These are not sponsored, but just options that I like. Or you can use those recipes to just make your own version and sort of skip over the middleman of having to look at sugar and ingredients and all those good things. Okay, and then the number 5 energy boosting food for you for this holiday season are nuts and seeds. And I know this is a big category of foods, but I want to give you lots of options here. And pretty much all nuts and seeds are helpful for this specific topic. So I don't want to just pick one. I really want you to think about getting in nuts and seeds every day as a whole category. Now, I will say some of my favorites you can zoom in on are things like walnuts are really great for energy. Brazil nuts are beautiful for energy and hormones. Pumpkin seeds, um, almonds, pistachios, those are a few really good ones to start with. But any sort of nut or seed that you really enjoy, try to get them in at least one serving a day to support your energy. And really throughout the day could be really helpful. I would also say nuts and seeds are a really good sort of buddy food for alcohol or for high sugar, high refined carb foods. So if you know you're going to a holiday party and you're going to be drinking or you're going to be eating less balanced foods, having some nuts and seeds with you in your purse and snacking on some of that trail mix or some walnuts or whatever while you're drinking alcohol, while you're eating the high sugar foods. These actually slow down the metabolism of that sugar and alcohol and helps your body process them in a more balanced way. They're kind of protective for our blood sugar and for our overall metabolism of these foods. So, nuts and seeds are a good buddy food, but even if you're not drinking or eating sugar, trying to get them in every day gets you those extra minerals, extra fiber, antioxidants. They're just incredibly energizing and nutrient packed little foods. And then, in addition to those 5 foods, I want to leave you with 5 daily habits that are also going to support your energy this season that don't directly have to do what's on your plate, but do really have to do with how your body is functioning, the balance in your body, your nervous system, and all of that translates down into your energy and your stress. So, we're keeping those 5 foods on our plate every day, and here are 5 daily strategies you can use to support those nutrition habits. So, daily habit number 1 is wake up before the kids for some quiet time. And I know that this feels counterintuitive. We're trying to get more energy, so we're waking up earlier. But hear me out here. I don't want you to get less sleep. Sleep's important. So if you're waking up a little earlier, that also means you're going to bed a little earlier. Okay? We're not sacrificing sleep, but we are trying to shift things so that we are awake before our children, so that we have quiet time to ourselves to start the day. This is a game changer for busy moms. When we sleep in until the last possible minute, when we wake up in a reactive state because we're waking up to our kids crawling into our room or to our alarm telling us we only have 10 minutes to get out the door, whatever it is, we wake up reactive. We are setting a nervous system baseline for the entire day ahead. We are allowing our body and nervous system to be only reactive to what's outside of us and sort of giving away our power when it comes to our nervous system set point. Our brain and our body are immediately in response mode. But if you give yourself some buffer, doesn't even have to be very long, 15 minutes, 20 minutes can make a huge difference. Give yourself some buffer between when you're awake and when you need to respond to other people's needs. And you can use that time to actually set intentions for your day, to let your brain process what's coming up in my day. What do I want to focus on? What's a goal that I have for my day? This isn't a time to get the dishes done before everyone's up. That's not the point. The point is to actually take solo, reflective, quiet time for your nervous system to settle in and set a baseline for the day that feels good. So you can do this in a lot of ways. You can journal, you can meditate, you can pull an oracle card for your day, you can just take a walk and let your thoughts run through your day, whatever it looks like. But we are being intentional and present with ourselves for a short period of time before the kids wake up. Even if all you're doing is drinking coffee or tea in front of the Christmas tree, listening to soft music, and just sitting and not doing anything. That's amazingly powerful for the nervous system. So that's daily habit number 1. Wake up before the kids for some quiet time. And if you do have really little kids whose wake up times are unpredictable, or maybe they're in bed with you, have a conversation with your co parent or your older kids. See if you can set up some systems where you have a little bit of buffer, where you can go take a hot bath or you can sit with your coffee in the living room in silence before you jump into mommy mode and work mode and doing all the things. So that's daily habit number one. Try to wake up before the kids for some quiet alone time. Daily habit number two is to take a walk outside every day. And I know it's December when we're filming this. This is specifically around the holidays. So for many of us in the Northern Hemisphere, it is cold right now. And we are probably not outside as much as we were a few months ago. And that's totally normal. But no matter the weather, being outside is incredibly beneficial for our hormones, our stress levels, our circadian rhythm, and our energy production. And even when it's cold, we can really be intentional about getting some outside time that's really grounding and calming and energizing. In fact, a lot of us find cold, brisk air is really energizing for the body. So try not to let the cold stop you. There's a saying that I love that there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. So just be really intentional about what you're putting on your body, bundle yourself up, have hats and mittens and all the things, and give yourself some space to go on a 10-minute, 20-minute, 30-minute walk every single day. If you want to take your kids, that's great. If you want to go by yourself, that's great, but that's your daily habit is you're getting outside in the sunshine, walking every single day. That movement will be great for your energy, and the outside time will be great for your energy. Number three daily habit is to meditate every day, every single day. And some of you right now are automatically going, I suck at meditating. I'm not a meditator. I don't like it. It doesn't work. And you're dismissing it off the bat. And I do want you to hear me out for just a sec. Meditating is an incredibly powerful tool. There's a reason that we hear over and over from all the most highly successful people, CEOs and presidents and all the things that meditating is like a key to their success, right? I dare you to find a really successful professional athlete who doesn't meditate. It's like a core piece of so many highly successful people in the world. And we all know that motherhood is its own kind of like endurance sport here going on. And we need the same kind of high performance focus, stamina, endurance, and inner center. And meditating is the single most powerful tool we can use to get that. So if you've tried meditating before and it did not work, you didn't like it, it's not for you. What I want to offer you is the point of meditating is not actually to make your brain quiet. Just the way your heart is always going to beat for the entire time you're alive, your brain is always going to think. That's the point of the brain. It's never going to stop thinking. So the point is not necessarily to have a clear mind, no thoughts, and totally focused in the moment. The point is actually to notice when your thoughts stray from the present moment and then intentionally bringing your attention back to your breath, to your body, to this moment. So it's the act of pulling yourself back that is the point. The point is not to stay here the entire time. The point is to notice when your thoughts stray and then pull yourself back in. It's incredibly powerful to practice being aware of our thoughts and then bringing them back into the present moment. And that gets to trickle over into the whole rest of your day. And the act of meditating, even if our brain is spinning around all of our to-do lists and did we wrap that present and what's for dinner and all the things, the act of sitting and trying to focus on our breath really is a powerful signal to the nervous system that we are safe, that there is space, that we can shift into our parasympathetic rest and digest state. And we have already talked on this podcast about how stress and energy are connected. So if you need to go back to that episode and listen, you can. But remember that when the nervous system is activated, we lose energy really fast. So a really powerful way to get some energy back is to help the nervous system stay regulated. And meditating is one of the best, most powerful tools to do that. So build in a practice every day where you are sitting still, focusing on your breath. You can use guided meditations. You can just listen to a song and just deep breathe and try to be in the moment, sitting still, whatever works for you. But try to build in a habit where at least 5 minutes, maybe up to 20 minutes, you're sitting still and breathing and just being with yourself. It's so, so powerful for stress and for energy. Number 4 daily habit for more energy is to do one thing at a time. To stop your multitasking. And I know that's a really broad thing to say to moms who are literally always multitasking. So let me get specific for a sec. What I would love you to focus on is putting your phone down more and focusing on your present task singularly without your phone. I see a lot of folks, our phones are the number one multitasking monster where we bounce back and forth between I'm cooking dinner. Oh, yeah, I had to order that thing on Amazon. I got a text. I'm going to pause what I'm doing and respond. My kid's talking to me, but I have, I was scrolling Instagram. So let me like finish this reel and then I'll stop and listen. It's like this constant partner that's pulling our attention in different directions. And I'm not going to pretend like I never have my phone around me when I'm with my kids, but I do notice that when my phone is more present in my space, when I'm responding and having it in my hand, I feel my energy being drained because my brain is having to multitask constantly. It's keeping all the tabs open, and task switching is really draining for our brain and our body. So, having to go from even something as small as changing a kid for bed, respond to a text, go back to the kid for bed, that small act of task switching is actually draining your energy and really losing some mental focus and flow. So, one really powerful thing you can do is to have a designated spot for your phone in your home, not carry it around with you constantly room to room. And when you're doing something, really try to be present with it. If you're cooking dinner, if you're washing your face, if you're reading a book or watching TV, your phone is not in your sphere and you're really present with that single task. So that would be the habit you can start playing with, is giving yourself some space from your phone so that you're multitasking less so you can preserve your energy more. And then the last daily habit for more energy you can add in is to incorporate more candlelight after sundown. So this one I know feels a little bit random, but the circadian rhythm is an internal rhythm in the body that is based on the timing of our day. And it uses light sensors to tell the body when it's time to make more energy, when it's time to get ready for sleep, when it's time to eat, to digest, all the things. And because it uses light as signaling, if we have bright indoor lights that are very high in blue light, if we have those on all the time, even in the evenings, that's really signaling some chaos to the body. The body gets so out of whack because it's on this 24-hour cycle, but the natural ebb and flow of light that it expects isn't happening. So our hormones get out of whack. Our energy is really, really impacted by this. And the evening time is a really powerful time to start shifting this. So, my challenge for you is to try to decrease the amount of bright indoor lights we're using after sundown. So, anytime I tend to use dinner as sort of my switch flip. So, after dinner, we are really minimizing indoor lights and use candlelight as much as you can. Also, it's cozy. That's cozy as fuck. And you can just like have the candles everywhere, really get into the vibe of like Christmas and winter. It's really nice. And you're doing your body a favor by giving it some space from that constant blue light and letting your circadian rhythm start to soften into the actual natural rhythm of evenings, bedtime. You'll get much better sleep, which will get you energy, and your circadian rhythm will even out, which will get you much better energy. So, those are our 5 daily habits. We're waking up before the kids for some quiet time. We are walking outside. We are meditating every day. We are putting our phone down more so we can focus on one task at a time. And then we are using candlelight as much as possible after sundown to balance our circadian rhythm. And then just to review, our 5 foods that we're eating every day. We're doing sweet potatoes at breakfast, leafy greens 1 to 2 times a day, matcha instead of coffee and energy drinks, electrolytes or some kind of mineral rich drink, and then nuts and seeds at least once a day, maybe even throughout the day. So you are actually changing the resources that your cells have to make energy. So that even if you're not able to slow down, to make time for rest, and to withdraw the way maybe you want to in this season, you will have more of a capacity to move through these very full days and weeks with more balance, with more nourishment and resourcing instead of running on an empty tank um, day after day after day after day. So do take time to rest wherever you can, and wherever you can't, let your nutrition boost and support you from there. I would love to hear how this episode resonates with you. If you have any comments, questions, aha moments, let me know in the comments below, or come and find me over on Instagram at Luia Wellness. You can also hop on my email newsletter list, where you'll get weekly email deep dives into different health topics in motherhood. And you'll also be able to stay in the loop about any upcoming offerings or ways to work with me through that space. And then if you are enjoying these episodes, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get updated every time a new episode drops. Mama, I'm sending you all of the energy and peace that you need to move through this season with joy and presence. And until we meet again, take beautiful care of